On this episode of the pilot adventure, we land in some extreme crosswinds, uncover more evidence on why you shouldn't do drugs, and our flight crew learns the hard way that sometimes nature calls. Now before we jump into it, please like, follow, and subscribe to @Montauk Rumrunners and @The Pilot Adventure on Instagram and YouTube. We've just departed New York City and we're heading to Nassau. We're working with Second Chance Rescue out of Manhattan to bring back 10 rescue dogs. They've actually already found homes for all of them. Now unfortunately today's flight is not going as planned. Despite checking and rechecking the weather, we have unforecast icing and turbulence. Even with our onboard de-icing equipment, we always treat icing conditions as serious. Report any icing to ATC, change altitude to get into air above freezing, and if that doesn't work, slowly make a 180 and exit the icing conditions. Always realize that with ice in your wings, your plane can stall at a lower angle of attack and higher airspeed than usual. Because of the icing, we've diverted to South Carolina. On final approach into Camden, we start getting erroneous airspeed readings and our stall horn is going off. This probably means one of the ports is iced over. We turn on the alternate static port and the pitot heat, and the problem seems to resolve itself. If flying has taught me anything, it's to be prepared for the unexpected. Watch as we blow a tire despite an exceptionally smooth touchdown.
Flat tire?
I think so. Now in this case, we're able to bring the aircraft to a safe stop, aggressively using the rudder, but not the brakes. I'm actually able to taxi it off the runway. We then call the airport manager and investigate. We find that there was some debris at the approach end of the runway, which I was lucky enough to run over on touchdown. Can't prevent everything, I guess.
Cannon Woodward, Cirrus, clear of 24.
Well, maybe staying here tonight.
Yeah, that's okay.
After a long, stressful flight, you're going to want to refuel. How'd you like it, Ev? Did you have fun?
Yeah.
Yeah? What was your favorite part?
I don't know.
That Dr. Pepper? Now, if you're going to refuel,
What are you doing?
don't give your 6-year-old niece a full-strength soda with caffeine and a ton of sugar,
kid had
because this is going to happen. Well, after a brand new tire and a bit of rest, we're on our way to the Bahamas. This area just south of Florida is one of the most beautiful scenes I've ever encountered while flying. My niece, however, is more impressed borrowing my wife's iPhone. Now today we've planned our arrival into Rock Sound, which is in the southern part of Eleuthera. This is an airport of entry, and they can handle all your customs paperwork. It's also usually not that crowded, as today we're the only airplane on the field. Rock Sound is just a short car ride away from the Cape Eleuthera Marina and Resort. This is by far one of the most beautiful, comfortable, and relaxing hotels in the Bahamas. Featuring villa and cottage-style accommodations, it's perfect for traveling with large groups. The resort also features out-island excursions including snorkeling, diving, or a trip to the sandbar. Just 5 miles offshore, the sandbar becomes your own private island in the middle of the ocean at low tide. Today we're going to depart Rock Sound and do a quick island hop over to Staniel Cay. Now before you do any island hopping in the Bahamas, be sure to thoroughly check the weather along your route of flight and at your destination. Staniel Cay is notorious for crosswinds, and today if you look at the water surface you can see the crosswinds ripping from the west. We're going to execute a short field and crosswind landing. We set up for a 5-mile final to runway 32. The air data computer is reading winds 230, 15, gusting 25 knots. That's a perfect 90-degree crosswind. We're going to maintain 85 knots all the way down to the touchdown point, and we're ready for that go-around if things don't look right on short final. Here we go. Nice. Now your Bahamas trip isn't complete until you've pet a few nurse sharks at Compass Key and visited the swimming pigs. We recommend Wheels and Waves tours. They'll pick you up right at Staniel Cay Airport and arrange an action-packed excursion for your group. The nurse sharks at Compass Key are always a real treat. And we all saw the movie Jaws and we all know how that ended, but there are a lot of misconceptions about sharks. Nurse sharks generally don't bite, although they can, but if you gently pet them and respect their space, you're going to have an awesome time. Once we shared this information with our niece, we could not keep her off the sharks.
Some of them love to get scratched.
Yeah?
Yeah, they love it.
Not that one.
Not this one.
After enjoying lunch on the sandbar at Little Pipe Key, we took the boat to the airport to check out the crashed drug plane off the approach end of one of the runways. Now the story goes, in the 1990s, this Piper Seminole tried to land in a storm filled with cocaine. The pilots missed the runway and crashed here in shallow water. When the police arrived, they found no pilots and no cocaine. 30 years later, this airframe is now home to a number of corals, fish, and that shark sleeping under the right wing. Earlier in the video, we touched on the importance of your weather briefing and practicing your short and crosswind landing techniques. Here's what can happen when you don't. This pilot missed the runway today in the crosswinds, flipped and unfortunately crashed. Thank goodness he only walked away with a broken thumb, but this plane is totaled. Now it's time to depart Rock Sound and head to Nassau. We're meeting with Chella, founder of the Voiceless Dogs of Nassau. At her sanctuary, she saved well into the thousands of dogs, placing them with loving homes in the United States and working with volunteer pilots like us to get them there. This is our second mission this year, working with Chella and Second Chance Rescue. These 10 puppies already have homes set up for them in New York City and the New York area. We're super excited to be part of this great cause. We've done everything we can to prepare for the flight. Looks like good weather. We have plenty of towels and Clorox wipes on hand. I'm also very fortunate to have my wife Kate, sister-in-law Kim, and our niece Evelyn along to help us out on the journey. After being abandoned and abused, these dogs are on the mend and they're all being treated for heartworm. Medication's not quite agreeing with them. Leg one from Nassau to Miami was pretty uneventful. We had great weather, smooth air. We put the plane on autopilot, took the puppies out, played with them a little bit, gave them a break. Then we put them back in their crate. Seems easy, right? We were actually having a lot of fun, and let me assure you, there are a few things in life that can give you as much joy as a plane full of 10 puppies. Now, I want you to remember this face. That's a face of pure joy and happiness right before shit hits the fan, or the seatbelt, as it was in this case. Now, a 4-seater SR-22 Turbo is a very roomy plane, but when a dog takes a shit on your sister-in-law, you begin to realize it's not as big as you thought it was. We recommend best practices when transporting dogs: leave them in the carrier and make shorter trips. Now, overall, the smell was pretty bad, and my niece was starting to lose it here, but everyone did a really great job handling the situation. We brought a ton of Clorox wipes, and we had everything cleaned up in no time. Now, if this happens to you, and the confined space combined with the smell makes your wife almost throw up, I recommend aiming the cold air vent right at her face. This will generally prevent her from vomiting in the brand new plane. I also recommend filming this because, frankly, well, it's hilarious. Well, after that in-flight adventure, we finally landed at North Myrtle Aviation in South Carolina. We're going to take a short break, get everybody cleaned up, and then get back in the air to bring these dogs to their new homes in the big city. Now, the title of episode 3 is The Next Generation. Generation is simply the next version of something. Whenever you bring out a new version of something, you want it to be better than the previous version, and that's why we brought my niece along. We wanted to show her that you can still go on vacation and have fun and do cool things, but you can also use your skills and talents to make the world a better place while you do it. There's a favorite phrase that I have, it comes from Teddy Roosevelt, and it says, "Do what you can with what you have where you are." Since our second video, we inspired 2 other pilots. Here's Ed in his Cherokee 6. Here's Keith and Hannah on their Cessna 310. Now, between our 3 planes, combined, we've saved over 50 dogs this year, working with Chella, Second Chance Rescue, and other rescue organizations in the US. That's pretty damn cool. You can join us. Just drop us a line and we'll get you in touch with the right people. It doesn't take much and you can make a difference. We'll see you on the next episode of the Pilot Adventure. Thanks for watching. Like and follow our sponsors on Instagram and YouTube. Thanks again for watching.